What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about the canceled Harry Potter MMO from EA. But this comes from the real Brandalorian. Now, I don't know actually anything about this guy other than a chance to talk to a couple of developers, past developers, current, and one of them is Kim Saltzer, who worked at EA from 2000 to 2003. So keep in mind when we're talking about this MMO that we're talking about we're not talking about a game that was canceled like 3-4 years ago, right? Just to keep, I guess, in mind. But basically, he asked the question, is there a game that you were close to or you were super passionate of that, never made it out? And she spoke about a Harry Potter game. Now, what's interesting about it is she constantly, like the first time she did it, I was like, oh, that's kind of weird wording. I wonder if that's what you really mean. And then she did it again, and I was like, okay, now I think I get it. She talked about like kids. That's a kids game. So this MMO was very much designed for kids. She said they were like testing and doing like, surveying and stuff like that on children. Now, she didn't say children, she said kids. And now she's a woman, so the first time I heard that, I was thinking, well, does she mean like young adults, or does she literally mean, like actual children? But she kept saying kids, so I do truly believe she meant like young children. And it was an MMO game. It was canceled because EA was going through changes at the time, and they didn't really see it being a profitable / like it would be around for too long after like a year or two. So they, this MMO was obviously, maybe from the people that were working on it, they wanted it to go like years and years and years. EA didn't really feel like it could make it past 1 to 2 years. And that's pretty much the end of the story. I mean, she did say Harry Potter. She didn't say Wizarding World, so I do think this would. And again, like 2000 to 2003, I mean, this is right around, 2001 was the first Harry Potter movie. So I think that was probably, the same kind of thing, that it would have been a, not necessarily, a movie tie-in game, but it would probably have had all the elements or all the characters, stuff like that, from at least, the first movie and maybe even the second one, or they could do obviously some of their own stuff, and they pulled the plug on it. So that sucks. It's tough because if I heard that this was a game that was, again, in like the making back in like, I don't know, like we've seen games that were like being worked on back in like 2010, 2011, 2012. We've seen a bunch of games from like the 2010s to like the 2015s or 16s that have been canceled. And I think those kind of hurt a little bit more just because, well, I guess to kind of come clean, like number one is like technology. So you could imagine them actually being like visually, cool and good. It's hard to get too disappointed about this one, right? Because we're talking about a game that would have come out maybe around like 2002, 2003, 2004. You know what I mean? It would have been a very old game. And so would those now, there were some Harry Potter games that came out in those early / mid, before 2010 that actually were pretty darn solid. So I'm not saying it's impossible. It could have been good. In fact, it could have been. But it's just, for me personally, and I don't know, maybe it's because I'm so focused on the present, or I don't know, I like visuals or whatever it may be. But I think it's harder for me to get massively disappointed in the looks. And also, well, an MMO back in 2001, 2002, I mean, like, the internet's made it a long way, boys and girls, since the early 2000s. Now, she did actually say there would be actually a couple extra tidbits. So she said there would be an offline mode and an online mode. So it wouldn't just be online. Pretty interesting. And also, they would mail things. They'd mail like items to the kids' houses, which I guess is kind of cool. Maybe a little creepy also, maybe if you think of like modern day EA. But, that seemingly was pretty darn different. But I would honestly argue that's another reason, right? How much of a kids game are we talking? Because like Toontown, I don't know if you guys remember the game Toontown, amazing game, amazing game. Like Club Penguin, I really love. So it's not like kids games or games like designed for that can be, can't be good, because they absolutely can. But she sounded pretty heartbroken over it. Like because she said like she was a big part of this game in particular. Like she had her hands on it a lot, so that's why it kind of disappointed her when it didn't end up happening. And she talked about research they did, that they looked at like all the lore and stuff. So pretty cool, pretty fascinating. I mean, hey, at any point in time, I would have taken it. Again, like it's a little harder for me to imagine it because of where visuals and technology and the internet, like I don't know what it necessarily would have become if it came out in 2002. You know what I mean? But if you told me that again, this is disappointing to me too. Now, if it came out in 2002, I would have been 6 years old. We didn't have like technology or like a computer that could do literally anything until I was like in maybe my early teens, and that's if I could even consider those laptops something that could do anything. So I don't think I would have even been able to play it, although I did again play Toontown, so maybe I could have run it. But it's still disappointing. If you told me a game in a popular franchise that I love, like a Pirates, actually we do know there was a Pirates like an open world MMO kind of thing that was also shut down in like the early to mid 2000s, those all disappoint me. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Make sure, as always, you guys are subscribed to the channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all of these videos go up. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter or subscribe to my second channel or support us on Patreon or YouTube memberships, links for them all are in the description below. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you all on the next video.